Yeah.
Oh, love the names of the Cats. But no, dude, this is the best time of the freaking year.
Yes, it is. Let's get it.
We have our birthdays. We have pretty much, it started off spring break for us sometimes, growing up, but that's pretty awesome.
The madness begin.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Swampy Sports Podcast. This is, like you just heard in the intro, this is me and JD's favorite week of the entire year. Granted, college football, that's our bread and butter, right? But this is the best time of the year. March freaking Madness is back. We are going to be doing a ESPN bracket challenge to where the winner will actually get a $100 Fanatics gift card, which is going to be pretty dope whenever I use that to buy a bunch of Saints that I desperately need now. So, but no, we are going to be making our predictions on our bracket today. For that, me and JD, we have our paper brackets, which is just so much better. It just feels amazing in your hands. You can make the noise, right? You can sit there. Can't make any changes. We're using pen. JD, you using a pen? Oh man. All right, making sure we're not gonna have.
Are you using a Sharpie though, Dylan? A Sharpie.
Oh, look at that. That's more permanent than my OSShealth.com pen. So awesome, guys. Well, hey, we're gonna jump right in. We're gonna be going from each I guess you can say division, I guess is what it's called. Region there. So we're going to start with the West, where we start with the number 1 seed. Here we have Gonzaga going up against Georgia State. To me, this is a no-brainer. Gonzaga, I think, they are the best team in the country for a reason, and I think it has to do with that freshman Chet Holmgren, to be honest. I'm going to talk more about him as we get into some better games, but Gonzaga easy over Georgia State. Yeah,
same here. Jared Timmy, Chet Holmgren. Just too much to handle for Georgia State, so I got Gonzaga.
Perfect. All right, next, Jay, we're gonna take turns. Like I pick first, then you pick second, but you pick first and I pick second.
Oh right? Man, this one.
Yeah, who you got?
I love what Penny Hardaway's been doing with Memphis, but with the game being played in Oregon. And last year, there not being no fans allowed, and it was all held in one place. I'm going to go Boise State here because I think that they'll have the crowd advantage. And in my opinion, these teams are evenly matched because it is an 8-9 game. These are pretty much the toss-up games where brackets get busted right off the bat, 8-9. So I'm going to go Boise State just because of where the game's played at.
No, I feel you. And again, I'm with you. I think, they're pretty much evenly matched, but I'm taking Memphis in this one, actually. And the sole fact of, I think what Penny Hardaway rather is doing over there in Memphis is he's turning that program around. Like they have, I remember, okay, he was doing some elite stuff, right? Recruiting, stuff like that, but he's still getting those elite athletes to come to Memphis. And a lot of it is because of who he is and who those parents of those recruits definitely saw him play before he got injured. But I'm taking Memphis on the sole athletic ability. I do believe Boise State is definitely the best rebounding team there, but I'm just picking Memphis on the sole fact of that pretty much they're hot. They've won 10 out of their last 11 games, 10-1 during that span. But I think one thing I noticed was when I saw them play Houston, even though they lost, I think one thing I noticed is that their depth, their bench right there is going to make a big difference in this game. So I think they have a lot more depth than Boise State. So I'm going to take Memphis in this one. So
alrighty.
Moving on, we have Yukon versus New Mexico State, and this is pretty easy for me. I'm just going to take Connecticut just because of the pageantry of Yukon, right? Like you have Shabazz Napier, Kemba Walker. You have, they always seem to have great guard play. To be honest, I haven't seen too much of Yukon. Definitely haven't seen anything of New Mexico State. But I'm taking Yukon in this one just because they can definitely recruit better basketball players than New Mexico State usually. So I'm going to go with the Huskies on this one.
All right. Well, I'm actually going Yukon as well. They have they have a lot of size. They're pretty big, pretty athletic. They beat Auburn earlier this year. And they just I think they're more battle tested for big dance than New Mexico State is, even though New Mexico State did beat Washington State and Davidson. I'm right there with you though. UConn, too much pageantry. They recruit better players, and like I said, they're huge.
Yeah.
They got two front court players that can match up with anybody. So I'm going UConn.
All right. All right, Jay, who do we got next?
Ooh, man, do I want to do it right here? Do I want to do it? Vermont's been so close the past couple of years.
I think we're on the same page.
Past time they've made the tournament. But with that being said, Arkansas is hot. They've won, I think, their past 17 games, and
Before the tournament.
For the SEC tournament, including when they beat Kentucky, they beat Auburn, they've beaten LSU 3 times, and they even beat Tennessee once. So as much as I want to take the upset here,
it's tough.
I'm taking Arkansas. I can't go away from the Muss Bus.
Okay, gotcha. Well, this is from a personal standpoint. I went and saw OU play Arkansas in Tulsa at the BOK Center, right? And the Muss Bus dude got kicked out because he was so upset how bad Oklahoma was beating the shit out of Arkansas. That was funny. But one thing about Arkansas, because again, I've watched the entire SEC tournament, I think. And one thing I noticed about Arkansas is really they are lacking in size, right? And again, I don't think they have to worry about that too much with Vermont. The big thing about Vermont and Arkansas, the biggest difference is the perimeter shooting. So Arkansas is really not that great at perimeter, on the perimeter there, but they do have a lot of athleticism, especially at the backcourt, right? They have, I forgot what the little guard name is. The guard's name, he's pretty small, but he's one of the most shifty athletic guys I've seen that entire SEC tournament. So I think that definitely gives them the advantage. But God, give me the Catamounts of Vermont. I think they're actually going to make the step to go into the second round this year. And the big reason why is because the turnover percentage that they have on defense. I think that they're going to get over the hump there, but then also they are an elite three-point shooting team, which Arkansas has struggled with this year. So I'm going to take Vermont just on the sole fact that I think they're going to be hitting the threes there. And like you said, they've been so close lately that I think this is their time to at least make it to the second round. So I'm taking Vermont. I love it.
All righty.
But next we have, this is recorded before the playing games, right? So this one's going to be a little tough for me.
Well, who do you have in Rutgers, Notre Dame?
I have Rutgers. So I'm going to take Rutgers.
I have Rutgers as well.
Yeah, and Rutgers, they've seemed to kind of turn it on this year. Like, you hear all the big talking heads, and, a big one was John Rothstein that I heard about, really talking Rutgers up, like possibly making a Sweet 16 run. So really, I'm going off the fact of that, but I also saw them in a Big Ten tournament. I watched them, and I just really like it just seems like one of those older veteran groups that really know how to play as a team. And that's something you're definitely going to need in March, right? But so I'm going to take Rutgers against Alabama. All right. But my big thing here is Alabama, just kind of like we were talking about Vermont, different, prestiges of schools, size and stuff like that. It's definitely been on the cusp of being a really, really good basketball team these past couple of years with Colin Sexton, all that. Once he pretty much got them back on the level, and they're still there. But give me the Scarlet Knights. I don't know. I just feel that Rutgers, this is March Madness, right? There's going to be upsets, especially this 11-6, seeding. I'm definitely going to take Rutgers because this isn't one of those, very lower, not Power 5 conferences, but Group of 5, whatever you use in football terms, right? Smaller conferences. Yeah. This isn't one of those. So this is a Big Ten team going up against an SEC team, and I'm going to take Rutgers in this one.
Yeah, I got Rutgers beating Notre Dame, and I actually got Rutgers beating Alabama as well. Alabama coming in losing 3 of their last 4 games, and I feel like they're just limping in. And Rutgers, as you said, they played very well in the Big Ten tournament, and I believe that the experience they had last year, having a bunch of players come back with that one win they had in the NCAA tournament, I think that's enough to give Alabama fits. So, and their defense is really well. So I'm actually right there with you. I'm actually taking Rutgers to win both games and advance to the second round.
All right. We agree there. Who do you have next game?
Well, Montana State, you've had a great year, but give me the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. They're too dominant defensively. They have had a lot of battle test games this year. So I'm going with the Red Raiders.
I'm with you. I'm definitely going Texas Tech, just on the sole fact that even though they finished third in the Big 12, I will say I've watched more Big 12 basketball than anything this year. But the fact their defense is legitimately, like, you can debate this with me, whoever you want, but they definitely have one of the best defenses in the country. And so I'm taking Texas Tech, sole fact on that. But I won't count Montana State. Like, I'm going to give them their credit, right? No one from Montana is going to hear this, I doubt. But they're from what I've heard, especially with John Rothstein. But then I talked with this guy at work who's pretty big into college basketball. He was telling me about Montana State and how they're like in the top. I think he said 50 of for like what was the stat, effective field goal percentage in the country, which is pretty dang good, right? But if you look into the past, like even last year with Oral Roberts, they were in that same stat line. I think they're in the top like 50 something. I don't know if it's exactly 50, but definitely like higher up in the country in their field goal percentage. And then you saw the run that they had. So, but I'm still going to go Texas Tech, but Montana State, I could see them keeping it pretty close, later in the game for sure.
Yep.
All right. So next we have a pretty big one. You have Tom Izzo, the Michigan State Spartans, going up against Davidson, who I will say is only popular. They've always been good, right? But Steph Curry's, alma mater for sure. But this one's pretty easy for me. I'm gonna go Michigan State. Davidson, I think when it comes to Davidson, being a 10 seed going up against Michigan State and a 7 seed, Michigan State, no matter what, they can have a down year, but they're still definitely going to be probably in the top, half of the bracket, right? When it comes to the March Madness, makes it every single year. When you have Tom Izzo on the sideline, you see him yelling at his players and getting in spats with his players all the time, but every single time that player's like, I love coach. He's just coaching me. He's telling me what I got to do. It's just whatever, right? He's a player's coach, and it's hard to bet against Tom Izzo, especially against a team like Davidson. So I'm taking Michigan State.
Well, you could take Michigan State. I'm taking the Wildcats. Had a victory over Alabama this year also. And if you look at Michigan State, they had a rough February and literally had to pull teeth. It seemed like just Izzo had to pull teeth just to get his team to start playing well and get his team to a position where they can get a 7 seed. But I like the way Davidson has played all year. So, and it's March Madness. So give me the upset. Give me Davidson.
All right. Cool. Well, JD, who we got next? Who we got coming up next?
Give me Duke, Paulo Branquero, and the other 5 NBA players that they're going to that start for them. It's just going to be too much for Cal State Fullerton.
Yeah, this isn't baseball, right? I'm not going to – this isn't baseball. Cal State Fullerton, the Titans, amazing baseball program. Look at them getting into the March Madness. This is the first time I've seen Fullerton in the March Madness, which I was like, oh, crap, they got a basketball team? I thought they were going to play baseball. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, Duke, they have like 5 possible first-round draft picks this year on the court at the same time.
Yep.
Duke easy. So, all right, guys. Well, that finishes the West region there. So now we're going to be going into the Sweet 16 now of the West region. We're going to keep going all the way down to the Final Four of each region there. So now we got I have Gonzaga and Memphis. So for that, I'm definitely going to take Gonzaga. I know I was talking earlier about Memphis with the athleticism, stuff like that. Gonzaga with the front court of Chet Holmgren and Drew Timme, I think, is going to be enough for that. Drew Timme with the experience. We saw what he did last year, the Fu Manchu himself, right? But add Chet Holmgren into that. If you've seen Chet Holmgren play, you look at him, you're like, what the hell? Like, if you just saw him, you're like, what the hell? But you watch him play. Dude, this guy, he's Kevin Durant 2.0, but I don't remember Kevin Durant playing defense at the level he does.
No,
this dude's blocking every shot that comes near the rim. He's sitting there pulling up from the top of the key, draining it. That dude's doing alley. It's hard to stop him. So I'm easy taking Gonzaga over Memphis.
And I got Gonzaga versus Boise State. Same thing as you doing. Gonzaga's just too big, too fast, too athletic. Got better players, and it's in Portland, even though that was the reason why I picked Boise State to beat Memphis.
Yeah.
Gonzaga, just too much, too big. So give me Gonzaga over Boise State heading to Sweet 16.
Perfect. All right. Let's see. Next, I have Yukon, Vermont. In that game, I think Vermont's 3-point shooting is just going to take them one round. I take Yukon over Vermont there. I don't think that the magic for Vermont. There's not a lot of magic in that state to begin with. We have family that's from there, right? But I'm just gonna. We also have family from Connecticut. That's where our mother is from. So I'm gonna take Yukon.
Yeah, well, I have Arkansas and Yukon here. As much as I like how Arkansas has been playing all year, I think I'm going to have to go Yukon here because the game will be played in Buffalo. I'm banking on, you can't say it's home court advantage, but crowd advantage. Yukon will have it because they're in the Northeast. That's where the game's played. So, and even though I think this is going to be a back and forth game, I think Yukon does pull it out though.
Gotcha. All right, Jay, who we got next?
All right. So I have Rutgers and Texas Tech.
Same here.
Rutgers has a lot of grit to them. So does Texas Tech. But I'm going to go Texas Tech because, in my opinion, I think Texas Tech was more battle tested going through the Big 12 than the Big 10 this year. Big 12 was just a gauntlet week in, week out. So give me Texas Tech.
And again, I'm going Texas Tech as well. But again, it's solely on their defense, right? Because I think Rutgers would be able to keep up if it was, I think they'd be able to score with them, at some points. But I think it's a defense that later on, at the beginning of the second half, Texas Tech, I think, will definitely pull away. Gauntlet of the Big 12, I completely agree with that. Texas Tech there. Next matchup, I have Michigan State, Tom Izzo versus Duke and Coach K. I will say that this is going to be, if this matchup happens, this is going to be probably the most politicized second-round matchup of all time, right? Because it's Tom Izzo dueling it out with Coach K one last time. I'm going to take Coach K because, you have, like I said, like we mentioned, there's 5 first-round draft picks, more than likely first-round draft picks for this year's draft. But then you have Paulo there. This is last. I can never pronounce his last name. Brancaro. That's what it is. You have Brancaro, who honestly is starting to get as much hype. He doesn't have as much hype as Zion Williamson, but is definitely going to be.
No way.
That guy, I still can't believe it's showing how much hype that dude had. But Brancaro definitely going to be a lottery pick for sure. I think he's going to be the main difference when it comes to the scoring ability against this Michigan State defense. So I'm taking the Blue Devils in that one.
Okay.
So, yeah, go ahead.
All right. So my matchup, I picked Davidson to beat Michigan State. So I got Davidson and Duke. And I just believe with it being in South Carolina, not far away from Duke, they'll have more fans than Davidson. And like you were equating to, Duke has those 5 in a future NBA players. So give me Duke over Davidson.
Gotcha. Well, we have our Elite 8 matchup. I think we both
Sweet
have
16 matchup.
Oh, gosh. Dang it. Okay, Gonzaga and Uconn.
Yep, we both.
Yeah, UConn. Okay, so I'm taking Gonzaga. Yeah, I'm not going to explain myself anymore on Gonzaga because, I could talk about Holmgren and Timmy all day, but just as a whole of Gonzaga, I put them kind of in the same category as Duke when it comes to they'll be able to have depth at that point, but I think that's going to be a big factor between Gonzaga and my next, I guess I'll go ahead and say it, Duke, and the Elite 8 there, but I'm taking Gonzaga over UConn easy.
Well, I'm taking Gonzaga over UConn. Only reason why, because I think that UConn can give them a lot of trouble because of their size in their front court. They can match Drew Timme and Chet Holmgren. The only reason why is I keep going back to its sites. This game will be played in San Francisco, California. Zags will have a crowd advantage, so give me Gonzaga.
Awesome. All right, JD. Well, we got the Elite Eight matchup. We both have same one. Who do you have, Gonzaga or Duke?
You mean I didn't even tell you who I had winning Texas Tech and Duke.
Oh, come on. You have Duke beat Texas Tech. Come on.
Give me the Red Raiders.
Wow. Okay.
The reason why is because if you go back and watch all the games Duke struggled in, what happened? The team they were playing played excellent defense. Give me the Red Raiders. I think they'll lock up Paulo Branquero and send Coach K crying to the refs on his way out as a loser.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. For anyone wondering, JD grew up an UNC fan, and I grew up a Duke fan as childhood. So, like, you could tell.
No, I didn't grow up a UNC fan. I just
stop
hated
it.
Duke.
You sat there and
I hated Duke.
If you were to sit there and just gush over anybody in the entire world, it would definitely have been Tyler Hansbrough. All right. That was like your guy. Oh, yes.
No, I just like the blood dripping, him beating Duke. I don't like Duke.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Okay. But I'm going to take Duke for the sole fact that, like, I understand Duke's a young team, but in Texas Tech, I have been raving about their defense, right? But one thing I am going to take over this is coaching experience at this point. Again, it's hard for me. This is one that's 50-50 for me, but I'm taking Duke on the sole fact of I would love to see Coach K go out, and at least, make the Elite Eight, at his, in his last tournament. But I understand Texas Tech has that elite defense, but this isn't a one-man show with, Bonchero or anything like that. You have Wendell Moore, who's pretty much been excellent the entire year, and AJ Griffin, who's, really probably their number one three-point shooter. So it's definitely not you lock down one person, you win the game. That's not how it is with Duke. They're really young. So if they don't make those rookie mistakes and they don't turn the ball over against this Texas Tech defense, I'm gonna take Duke.
Yeah. Well, I got Gonzaga and Texas Tech, and I got Gonzaga winning. I think that their size compared to Texas Tech is a bit of a mismatch, and the game's played in San Francisco. So I got Gonzaga making the Final Four.
Gotcha. Hey, I'm with you as well. I'm actually taking Gonzaga over Duke. And again, we've done all the explaining on these teams, man. But the one thing I want to point out is that Duke did beat Gonzaga by 3 points at the beginning of the year.
They did.
But again, this is Duke's a young team. Gonzaga definitely, that was earlier on in the year. Chet Holmgren has definitely grown because he definitely had some struggles starting off. But this dude's turned into a monster, and I think that's going to be the biggest. That's going to be the biggest difference there. And think about it; it's kind of crazy to think about. Gonzaga's got Timme and Holmgren, who are both on the Wooden Award finalists for best player in the country. You don't see that very often. But so I'm taking Gonzaga for that. But all right, JD, start us off. We got the East region, starting with the 1 seed.
Well, I mean, Baylor, give me the national champs. They I'm not picking that 16. I'm sorry.
Poor Norfolk, dude. Man, it sucks. They have to go get pizza. To be honest, I feel more bad for them than Georgia State does against Gonzaga. But no, Baylor easy for me. But awesome. Well, the next one's going to be pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. You have JD's secret crush there as a kid. North Carolina going up against Marquette. With Marquette, if you don't remember, has hired the former Texas and Wichita State coach Shaka Smart as their head coach, who seems to always do really well in the tournament, which was another reason why I was kind of iffy, trying to pick this. But you saw North Carolina ruin, Duke's, Coach K's last home game at Cameron Indoor Stadium, which is not just something that happened. This North Carolina team is very good. They've been up and down all season. They're 24-9, an 8 seed, which is really low for North Carolina State. But they close out the regular season with 5 straight wins. And and just manhandling the Blue Devils. They're very elite whenever it comes to rebound. So it's still tough for me to just make a decision now, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Tar Heels.
Yeah, give me the Tar Heels. I'm going based off of what I saw from North Carolina, like you're saying, those last five games that they in the regular season. So I think they're on a hot streak, even though they did get bounced in the ACC tournament. Still, give me the Tar Heels. I got them.
All right.
All righty. So the next one we have is, so who do you have in Wyoming and Indiana?
I loved seeing Wyoming's reaction, seeing that they got into a playing game. Right? It was just so cool to see, like, it's Wyoming. You know, we've seen their football program be decent, right? But the basketball team, like, that's cool. But I'm taking Indiana just on probably sheer talent.
All righty. Well, I'm actually taking Indiana as well over Wyoming in the play game. So I got Indiana St. Mary's here. Man, this one's a tough one. Who? Give me the Hoosiers.
Okay.
Give me the Hoosiers. I couldn't really just played in Big Ten compared to the WCC. That's why I'm going.
Okay, I feel you. I'm going the opposite. I would have Indiana winning, but I would have St. Mary's on top of Indiana.
Respect. Take it.
I watched the St. Mary's team. I believe it's the Gales, right?
Mm-hmm.
I watched them go toe-to-toe with Gonzaga until like the final 30 seconds of
that
WCC.
I will say this. They are more than capable of winning this game.
They have, I would say, probably one of the best defenses in the country as well. Again, this is just, I've watched 2 St. Mary's games all year long. But then if you sit there and look at their notable wins and losses, they played Gonzaga 3 times, won once, and then lost the second 2 times, right? But then lost to Wisconsin by 6, and then beat San Francisco, right? That's just a tournament team, so they have them on there. But they also beat Notre Dame by 3 as well. But then you got to throw in they lost to San Diego State by 10. So it seems like they're kind of streaky at some points. But just for the sole fact, they're in a tournament, 5 seed. They kind of have something to prove, especially losing that close game to Gonzaga. I'm going to take St. Mary's.
All righty.
So next we have the 4 seed UCLA Bruins going up against the 13 seed, the Akron Zaps out of Ohio. And I think UCLA is a 4 seed. But I'm going to say you better watch out for them and make a run like they did last year, because they're a very sneaky team this year. Again, they're a 4 seed, not like what they were last year, but you still have a lot of those returning players back, right? And I think a big one is Johnny Juzang, and I think he was the leader of that team last year. He's come back and definitely hasn't digressed any. If anything, he's probably progressed a little bit. And I think UCLA's size is going to be a big advantage against Akron there for sure. So it's not like LeBron James is playing for him there. So I'm going to go ahead.
Well, I got UCLA as well. The magical run they made last year, having majority of the team back. Give me UCLA.
Sure. All right, Jay.
All right. Texas and Virginia Tech. Give me the Hokies. Reason why is because I can't figure out this Texas team. I cannot figure out for the life of me what team is going to show up. And I'm going to take a team who just won the ACC tournament over Duke and is really hot right now. So give me Virginia Tech.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm doing it. I don't care. I'm doing it. Horns down. Hokies, and I agree. I think the big thing there is because Virginia Tech is coming off that ACC championship win again over Duke, which is definitely going to get them, that gives them the confidence they need. They're playing freaking Texas. Who do they have to beat? Like, this is a team, Texas is, that if you look at their notable results right here, right, a lot of them are losses, right, to these tournament teams. Lost to Gonzaga by 12. split 2 games with Kansas. All right, lost to Baylor twice, lost to Texas Tech twice, beat Tennessee by 1, win to win, right? But lost to Seton Hall, and then it says Oklahoma, but they got cheated out of this tournament anyway. But they definitely at least probably needed to be on in the tournament at some point. But I'm going with riding on the momentum. Definitely give me Virginia Tech.
All righty. The next one we have is Purdue and Yale.
This is interesting because I watched that Ivy League championship, and I have some thoughts. But this is you, man. You go first.
Ivy League, Schmivy League. I don't care. Give me the Boilermakers.
Okay. Hey, no, I feel you. You know, Purdue, it's crazy. I love how Purdue has definitely become a prominent, basketball team as of late, right? But you have Yale, and I was watching that game against Princeton. Incredible game, right? Set game-winning shot. It was awesome. But they do have a senior that scored over 1,000 points the past 2 seasons, and Azar Swain kind of giving me some upset vibes. But I'm gonna take Purdue, but I would not be surprised if Yale pulls out an upset for sure.
All righty.
All right. But next we got another interesting matchup, right? Murray State versus San Francisco. But one funny thing I thought was here I was listening to the Oklahoma City Thunder game on the radio on my drive home, and John Morant, because they were playing the Grizzlies, and John Morant told a reporter, like, hey, who do you think is going to win the national championship? And John Morant said, I think it's going to be Murray State. And apparently that wasn't like an actual joke. He was 100% serious. But if you look at Murray State, they're 30-2 on the year, right? They're on a 20-game win streak, and they've got an amazing, like, what do you want to call it? Like 1-2 combo, whatever. They got a 6'10" guy in KJ Williams. Then they have a guard 6'5" in Tevin Brown, who I think it's like around like 34.5 or 35 points a game for those two. And they were same class, so they've been with each other for the past couple of years. So I'm definitely going to take Murray State in this. But San Francisco, as I've heard, because I've listened to so many podcasts and radio shows, are equally talented as the racers there. But I'm going to take Murray State in this one.
Definitely going Murray State here. From stuff I've listened to, San Francisco shouldn't have even made the tournament.
Yeah.
So 30-2, I mean, that's hard to do. So give me Murray State for sure.
All right. Last game of this region.
Give me Kentucky.
Easy here. I'm going to Kentucky. I think Kentucky is going to be able to make a very long run in this tournament. This isn't a typical Calipari team. I think they definitely got athleticism. They're able to score, play great defense. So I'm taking Kentucky. So, all right. Let's see here. So we got second round in the East bracket. So, JD, let's see here. I have Baylor versus North Carolina. All right. So, again, I think it's going to be a pretty good game, right? I think it'll be pretty close first half, but I think Baylor pulls away in the second half.
What's got me questioning this pick, because I'm leaning Baylor because it is played in Fort Worth. What's worrying me is the health of Baylor. Are they fully healthy when they meet North Carolina? So with that question being asked, give me Baylor.
Okay.
Just because it's played in Fort Worth. It's an
hour and a half away.
Yeah. I was very close to saying North Carolina, but give me Baylor just because they are a 1 seed. They've grind through the Big 12 this year. And if you can grind through that and not be fully healthy, I believe that you can make it to the Sweet 16. So give me Baylor.
All right.
The next round, I have UCLA and Indiana. And with the run that UCLA made last year, give me UCLA. I think they're going to be too much for Indiana.
Okay, we have completely different teams on this one. I have Virginia Tech and Purdue. All right, this one I'm going to take
wrong game, Dylan. Wrong game.
What are you talking about? Oh wait, already because I already wrote down St. Thomas Mary over UCLA in that one. Sorry, I went to the next one.
So you took.
That's how confident I am.
So you think
UCLA
the Gales
can make this run, but I'm taking the Gales because.
Okay.
Again, this might just be the whole analysis by paralysis crap that I'm taught in my job, but seeing the St. Mary's team and the way they played against UCLA, I think they could play with pretty much anybody in this tournament. UCLA, the crazy fact about them is they only have one person in their lineup, one starter who comes in under 6'7". So they have the length, right? But if St. Mary's can sit there and hit those 3-pointers with Kyle Bowen and Alex Dukas, I don't see anyone stopping them. I don't see UCLA stopping them. So they don't have to go in. They make their shots. I'm taking a risk with the Gales on this
one. All right. You got to take risks. You got to risk it for the biscuit. You know what I mean?
I do. All right, guys. So now we have Virginia Tech and Purdue. All right. So this one I'm taking the Boilermakers because, to be honest, I just feel like Purdue, they definitely have that flash about them at some points. Like Purdue is not a flashy school, right? In any aspect of sports, they are academic-wise, right? Engineering, stuff like that. But I really like this Purdue defense. You mentioned a team earlier has got grit. And I think this Purdue team the past couple of years definitely has that grit. And they're definitely one of the top-ranked offenses in the nation. And I think they're going to make a deep run. Possibly. We'll see what we got in the next round. But with Jaden Ivey, I think he's going to lead the way, especially past Virginia Tech.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how many players on Vodtech who are over 7 foot, but Edie, the center from Purdue, I've watched the games this year, and they just literally drive the paint, throw it up, and Edie does a little hopscotch jump and grabs it and just dunks it because he's so tall. I don't know if anybody on Virginia Tech would actually be able to stop that. So give me Purdue.
All right. See who you got in the next one.
Woo! Murray State and Kentucky. Crazy part about this is what's got me questioning Kentucky is the fact that Murray State being in Kentucky, are these boys fired up as Murray State guys are to play them? Because this would be Murray State's Super Bowl right here. You're playing considered the top team, college basketball team in Kentucky. You want to put on a show. Man, Kentucky or Murray State? Give me the Wildcats just because I believe they'll be more talented and more battle tested playing through the SEC. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm calling maybe a buzzer beater, but give me the Wildcats to surpass into the Sweet 16.
I'm right there with you. I'm taking Kentucky, and again, this is more on the coaching aspect of it. Again, I think Kentucky's definitely more talented. Murray State's going to be coming in there with a lot of fear, a lot of fire, a lot of passion. I guess fury might be a right word too, but they're going to come in there, going to be feisty, right? They're a feisty team. They sit there on a 20-game win streak. I don't care what conference you play in. That's freaking impressive. But I'm going to take Kentucky in this one for sure. So now we're in the Sweet 16. All right, so I have Baylor and St. Thomas Mary, but unfortunately, this is when the Gales' Cinderella run comes to an end. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but it's definitely not going to be super close. So I'm taking Baylor.
And I have Baylor and UCLA. Like I mentioned against Baylor and North Carolina, Baylor's health is a worry to me. So I'm going to keep riding the magic from last season. Give me the Bruins to upset the Baylor Bears and go
Wow.
to the Elite Eight.
Wow. Okay, JD's taking the chances. And that's one I can definitely respect and actually see happening. So kudos to you on that one for sure. All right, what you got next?
All right, so in the Elite Eight matchup, I have Purdue and Kentucky. Give me the Boilermakers because I believe that they have the size to match up with Kentucky, can score with them, and the game is played in Pennsylvania. I believe that Purdue will have a crowd advantage over Kentucky. Yep. So give me the Boilermakers.
You know, once we get this far into the tournament, I'm starting to think that the crowd isn't that big of a factor at some points. Sweet 16, yeah, but like the first round, I'm like, oh, for sure, right? Second, Sweet 16, like that second round, with the third weekend in there. See, this is a tough one, but I'm going to say that the fact that this is John Calipari is like one of his first teams to actually have upperclassmen in the starting lineup, like majority of them. You see what happens when you don't try this one and done crap. You don't get an Anthony Davis every single year, right? So I'm going to take Kentucky on this, just on the sole fact of they're not excellent in any like one spot, on the court, but I think they're really good at attacking the board and getting second chance rebounds. So I'm going to go with Kentucky on that.
All righty.
Right.
I got Purdue and UCLA. I think Purdue's size is too much for UCLA, so the magic runs out for UCLA. Give me the Boilermakers.
All right. Cool. So, JD, Elite Eight. We got Purdue versus Baylor, correct?
No, I just told you I got Purdue beating UCLA to go to the Final Four.
Okay, so you got Purdue beating UCLA. That's right. You had UCLA. Okay. So I'm typical 1 and 2, Final Four, Baylor, Kentucky. Baylor, they haven't seemed to really skip a beat, really, when they lost like one of their star players, like the center. I'm not even trying to pronounce his name, right? But, they have what, like 3 players that score double digits every single game. I feel like they have a lot more grit, if that makes sense, than Kentucky. Because I don't know, I just feel Baylor. I feel like they probably have the size. Kentucky probably has the athleticism. You know what? Screw it. I'm not sending a 1 seed there. So I'm going to take Kentucky. I'm going to have them going up against Gonzaga in the Final Four.
All righty.
I think this Calipari team that actually has experience has a shot, right? So if he could do that with a team full of, Anthony Davises and stuff like that, great. Anyone can do that. But I'm hearing a lot of good stuff. So,
yeah.
So, all right. Got the South region now.
All right. You taking the 16-1 here, Don?
I'm taking the 1. Easy.
Even
Arizona.
though I think Bryant beats Wright State because Bryant has a scorer in the nation.
Yeah.
But Arizona's just going to be way too much.
Yeah, see, like this isn't the Oral Roberts of last year with Max Abmas, right? With him being the leading scorer in the nation and him going on a rampage and blowing up, right? But this isn't that. This is an Arizona team that's 31-3. I think, they literally came back against UCLA in that Pac-12 championship. Definitely feeling themselves a little bit. Going to be in beautiful San Diego. I'm taking them.
Yeah, and I'm taking Arizona as well. All right, so the next matchup is Seton Hall and TCU. I had a great season, Seton Hall, but give me the Horned Frogs here.
Is it because they're in the Big 12? Is that why?
Yeah, they've had – it's just they seem to step up when it's a huge game. The Storm Chasers from Barstool Sports, when they showed up, they beat Kansas. So give me I'm taking the Horned Frogs here.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take Seton Hall.
All right.
I'm going to take Seton Hall. Just because, TCU would be Kansas later in the season. You know, that's a big deal, right? But Seton Hall, from what I've been hearing, you know, I'm not going to lie, I've never watched a Seton Hall game, but from what I've been hearing, that they have a tremendous front court. But with that, they actually have the depth. Like, they have people rotating in, fresh legs. I'm not sure TCU will be able to do that. TCU, of course, they probably one of the best defensive teams, probably top 3 in the Big 12. I'm going to go with Seton Hall on this because offense wins games, and you know I think the rebounding is really going to put them apart as well, getting second chance shots there. So I'm going to go Seton Hall. So next we got a really interesting one. All right, so we have Kelvin Sampson, the head coach of leading the Houston Cougars up against the 12 seed UAB Dragons. All right, so this is a very interesting one to me. And I'm thinking at this as well, because it's a 9:20 p.m. Eastern game. It's a little bit later, right? I'm taking that into consideration, right? Houston, solid bunch. You know, they freaking went to Final Four last year. I'm going to take Houston going over UAB, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people think as well.
Give me Jelly Walker in the UAB Blazers, baby.
I knew you were going for the guy with the name Jelly. You kidding me?
No, I am going UAB though. Jelly Walker, he absolutely crushed my hearts on Saturday night when he took out my Bulldogs in the Conference USA Championship game. The guy is unreal, has Steph Curry range, and they got a lot of grit to him. And I think it's going to be too much for Sampson and the Cougars. So give me UAB.
All right. Cool. Well, JD, who we got in this 4 versus 13 seed?
I'm tempted to take Chattanooga, but I think that Kofi Cockburn and Illinois is just too big, too athletic. Give me Illinois.
Oh, yeah. I think Kofi Cockburn is going to just straight up. He's going to be the star of the tournament, I think he's going to be one of the guys that his name blows up. He's going to go really high in the draft because of this tournament. Because if you look, like, he's going to be playing Chattanooga. Definitely get a good stat line there. But I have him up against Houston. And if he does well against Houston, I think that's when he's going to blow up for sure. But I'm taking Illinois. All right. So next we got the 6 and 11 seed. We have Colorado State, the 6 seed, going up against the 11 seed, and Juwan Howard and his left hook and all coming back for the tournament. All right. So Colorado State, 6 seed, 25-5. You know, I think, you know, the Rams, correct me if I'm wrong, Mountain West Conference. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Coming out of the Mountain West, the Mountain West has been probably one of the most entertaining conferences this year. I think they have like 4 different teams in the tournament. So you know they've been playing some good competition. But Juwan Howard and the talent that Michigan's got, I'm going to take the Wolverines.
Yeah, Colorado State ain't going to be able to take the left hook from Juwan Howard on the sole fact that they are 0-0 against top 25 teams this year. So give me Michigan.
Exactly. All right.
And the next one, it's Tennessee and Longwood. I'm going to go Tennessee. I love the way they finished out. I love the way they've been playing here the past couple of months in the SEC, because the SEC, in my opinion, was the second best conference in college basketball this year behind the Big 12. So give me the Volunteers.
All right. I'm going Tennessee as well. To be honest, never heard of Longwood, but they will not last long in this tournament. Tennessee, great scoring team. Saw what they did to the red hot Texas A&M in the SEC championship. I'm gonna take Tennessee. So, all right, next we have number 7 Ohio State against Sister Jean and America's sweetheart Loyola Chicago. I think without Porter Moser, I don't think they're going to go as far as Loyola Chicago used to. So I'm going to take the Buckeyes in this one because I just don't see them being as I don't want to say competitive, right? But we both seen what this Porter Moser can do at Oklahoma with just a coaching standpoint, being the leader of a team. I don't know even who the head coach is there. I'm not sure. Sister Jean, at least she gets to make it, out there, for the round 64 to Pittsburgh. But give me Ohio State.
Give me Sister Jean
Oh,
and the
God.
Ramblers. I think
All
that,
right.
I mean, they went 25-7 without Porter.
Okay.
Ohio State really hasn't shown me a lot this year.
Yeah.
I mean, they beat Duke, but
beat Duke, lost to Purdue by 3, beat Illinois by 3, split with Wisconsin, split with Michigan.
I'm not sold
Michigan State
on
by
that.
11.
It's just something about them. I'm not sold on them. So
Okay,
I'm going with the Ramblers. Give me an upset here.
Well, you see Ohio State at a 7 seed at 19-11. I get it. I do.
Yeah.
Because it's not showing their losses, right? Who they lose to, they've been beating these teams, but I'm with you on that. But let's see. So who we got next, Shitty?
All right, we're into the second round of 32.
Did you pick Nova?
Yeah, I picked Nova. My bad.
Okay. So I'm not the only one forgetting things. Perfect.
No, my bad.
We get excited. We get excited.
I straight up.
We'll skip past that. I have Nova over the Fighting Blue Hens as well. Delaware. Easy. So just go on to the second round there.
I have Arizona versus TCU, and I'm gonna go Arizona here. I think that they are just firing on all cylinders right now. I think that they're going to be way too athletic for TCU, so give me the Wildcats.
Okay, I have Arizona. I got to change that. I have Zaga and Zona both on my thing, and I was about to say Gonzaga. So I have Arizona and Seton Hall. Easy Arizona in this one. I think Arizona is definitely one of the top teams in the country for a reason. So I'm going to take Seton Hall. I'm sorry, Arizona over Seton Hall at that point. But next, we have an interesting one. So I have Houston versus Illinois. All right, so we have Arizona, probably one of the most consistent teams in the country this year, besides Gonzaga, who plays in the WCC. But dude, I'm really feeling this Big Ten team with Coffee Cochran on there. But then you also have Alfonso Plummer. Just the fact that Cockburn has 21 points and 10.6 rebounds this season. I think he's going to be a nightmare for Arizona, and I think he's going to. I'm taking the 4 seed over the 1. Give me the fight in the Illini.
Yeah, I got Illinois and UAB. I went with Jelly Walker and the Blazers the first matchup, but I think Cochran and Illinois is just going to be way too much for UAB to handle. So give me that.
Oh my gosh, I freaking love this so much. I just realized I just skipped past the freaking the freaking Sweet 16 matchup. That's how excited I am about Illinois.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
And the next matchup, I got the Michigan Wolverines and the Tennessee Volunteers.
Same here. Same game. All right.
I'm going to go Tennessee here because Michigan, it took them a while to wake up. They're very talented, but I like the way Tennessee is firing on all cylinders right now. Give me the Volunteers.
Okay. I think I'm going to go with you. The only problem I have with Tennessee is the reliance on the 3-point shot, because it's very guard heavy offense. They kind of struggle with being consistent a little bit. We didn't see that in the SEC tournament, right? Because they were on fire. But is that going to carry on, especially this far in with the athletes that Michigan basketball brings in every year? I don't know, but their defense is pretty high up there. So I'm going to stick with Tennessee, but this is not a confident pick over Michigan for sure. But next one, we have Ohio State versus the 2 seed Villanova Wildcats. I think this one is going to be. I just feel like Villanova, they're 26-7, coming out of the Big East, but they lost to Baylor by 21. Lost to UCLA by 9, lost to Purdue. lost to Yukon once, lost to Marquette twice. I understand you play these teams, and but losing twice, they're just like every single Jay Wright team. They're great at defense and great at free throws. I just really they can't get in foul trouble with Ohio State. But I'm going to take Villanova just on the sheer fact of the experience of Jay Wright and Villanova being there before, right? So I'm going to take Villanova, but just like the Michigan-Tennessee game, I'm not confident.
Yep. Well, I got Villanova, Loyola Chicago. Villanova, too much experience for Loyola Chicago for me, so give me Villanova.
All right, Sweet 16. Let's see, Jay, who do you got?
All right, I got Arizona and Illinois. Man, this one has me scratching my head. Because these two played earlier this year. And Arizona went to Champaign and won by 4. Hard to beat a team twice. Give me the Annihili.
There we go, dude. Thank you. See, this is why I freaking love it. You have these, tough matchups. Like Arizona, Illinois. This might be my hardest pick out of the entire tournament because I'm huge on Cockburn, right? But just this I know I've mentioned multiple times the fact that Arizona is so consistent. They're very young, but they're very efficient. And it would be cool to see Arizona make it because you haven't really seen them do too much, especially with the whole, DeAndre Ayton, stuff going on. But man, I don't know. I just feel good about Illinois, right? I really like the fire that they seem to have. They have that 4 seed. A lot of people think they should have been ranked a little higher, seeded wise. So maybe they have a little chip on their shoulder. But next one, I have Tennessee versus Villanova.
And Same here.
I'm taking the Volunteers. I'm taking the Volunteers on the sole fact of they are on that run winning the SEC. You mentioned that a couple times, but I think their ability to force turnovers, being really aggressive on defense, especially early on in the game. I think that Villanova is pretty good at coming back, but if Tennessee can keep their foot on the pedal, I can see them making a deep run. So I'm taking Tennessee.
Well, I'm gonna take Villanova on the sole fact that you say that Tennessee will turn Villanova over. Is that what you said?
I'm saying that's what they've done. I'm saying if they can get the ball turned over, I'm not sure if they will, because this Jay Williams is definitely one of the top coaches in the country.
Jay Wright's team at Villanova is.
You mean Jay Wright?
Jay Wright's team at Villanova does not make mistakes. They're the best free throw shooting team in the tournament. And just so happens to be they beat Tennessee this year by 18 already. So give me the Wildcats.
Binge tour, baby. That's what March is all about. Getting crazy. Let's get crazy, G. All right.
Yep.
But Elite Eight. Let's see. I'll just go ahead. I have Illinois, Tennessee here. And I'm going to take the Volunteers, the Illini Cinderella story. If that's what a 4 seed could be, it's going to end. I have Tennessee making it all the way to the Final Four.
Well, I got Villanova and Illinois. I'm going to take Nova on the sole fact of they take care of the ball. They shoot free throws really well, and they don't make mistakes. So give me Villanova. I love Coffee Cockburn, but it's just about Villanova being able to handle the pressure, see the moment, and execute.
That's it. All right. Last region, Midwest. I'll go ahead and start this one off. We have the 1 seed Kansas coming up against Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, the Islanders, or Texas Southern. Do we even have to talk about this one?
No.
Okay. Awesome. We're both taking Kansas. Jetty, who we got next?
I am actually going to go with the Creighton Blue Jays here as they're taking on San Diego State. I believe that they're more battle tested being played in the Big East compared to San Diego State in the WCC. So I just think that they're more battle tested. They've beaten Villanova. They beat Yukon twice. So they beat Marquette 3 times. Give me Creighton.
Gotcha. All right. And so I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with the Blue Jays as well. And a big part of that is just because every single Craig McDermott team seems to be a rebounding machine. And just they always seem to have these huge big men down low. And I think that's definitely what you need to get through this first round. San Diego State. Sorry about you, but I'm taking Creighton. All right. So next we have, 5 seed Iowa versus the 12 seed Richmond Spiders. So this one's going to be pretty easy for me. I'm going to take Iowa. And Iowa's going to be my sleeper team in this tournament because I think one thing about them is that they are, I would say, probably in the top 5 hottest teams in the country right now, playing very well. But Keegan Murray is probably going to be one of the biggest problems in this tournament, averaging 23, almost 23 and a half points this game. So I'm taking Iowa.
Give me Keegan Murray and Iowa.
All right. CJD, who do you have in this one?
All righty. We got South Dakota State and Providence. Providence, man, they're a problem. 25-5. They beat Texas Tech, beat Yukon, beat Wisconsin, beat Xavier twice. Very gritty. But give me the Jackrabbits. I'm going South Dakota State.
Bro, I low-key thought you were about to go Providence. I was about to call you a jackass for not taking the Jackrabbits. Like, that was ready to go on that one because I'm with you. It's, again, just
30-4 went undefeated in conference play. Give me the Jackrabbits.
It's the same reason I'm taking them like I did Murray State is they own the longest win streak. Murray State's at 20. They're at 21. And they play in the same conference as Oral Roberts here in Tulsa. And that's why they're the 13th seed. But that should not be a reason you should not pick South Dakota State because they are probably one. They have, if I had to, I think they're in like top five highest scoring offense in the country. So the team they are so accurate on the 3-point shot, like the best 3-point scoring team in the country. You have Baylor Shearman and then Charlie Easley. To be honest, the only person I've actually heard of on this team is Baylor, and that's just I remember that from just because his name is so unique. But undefeated this team when leading at halftime, so they definitely know how to run with the lead, especially after a little bit of a rest there. So
they're very high scoring.
So I think they might be a problem. We just got to see where they land. But awesome. So now we have a pretty interesting one. We have the number 6 LSU Tigers, who can't seem to hit a jump shot. Somehow the 6th seed going up against the 11th seed Iowa State Cyclones, who got in at an 11th seed there. So this one's going to be a little hard for me because, to be honest, I've watched both of these teams several times this year, but I wasn't impressed really with either of them. LSU's very young, probably one of the most least experienced teams, if I had to guess. I don't know. This is just me picking, but I'm picking Iowa State.
Give me Iowa State. If you lose your coach before the tournament even starts, that's a problem in my eyes. So give me Iowa State over LSU.
Sure. All right. Let's see. We got Wisconsin, Colgate.
The Badgers, Johnny Davis, and the game is played in Milwaukee. Give me Wisconsin.
Yeah, easy. I'm taking Wisconsin too. Let's just move on from there. So next we have the number 7 USC Trojans going up against 10 seed Miami Hurricanes, baby. So always liked Miami. I've just always been a big fan of Miami. Now I'm not a big fan of USC. We're not getting into that. That's for the fall. But split with Duke this year. Beat the shit out of North Carolina State by 28 points. I think this is a very good Miami team. Respect to USC and Isaiah Mobley. But I don't think the Hurricanes on this one. East Coast, USC traveling all the way to the East Coast, Miami, kind of just going right up the coast there. I'm going to go with Miami.
That's the main reason why I'm picking Miami to win this game is the location, because it's pretty much a toss up to me. So give me Miami over USC.
Perfect. All right, Jay. Last first round
Auburn.
game. Easy. Auburn. That's it. All right. Cool. Now we're going up. I have in the second round here, Kansas versus Creighton.
I have that as well.
That's pretty easy for me there. Love Creighton, but I don't see them getting past. I don't see them getting past.
Yeah, I got Creighton winning as well. I mean, Kansas.
Whoa,
My bad.
say,
my bad. My bad. Got Kansas winning.
Perfect. All right. Well, yeah. Who do you got next?
Call me crazy.
Crazy son of a bitch.
Give me the Jackrabbits. I'm taking them to upset Keegan Murray and the Iowa Hawkeyes. Give me South Dakota State.
Buddy, I understand going crazy in March, right? But dude, I'm not gonna lie. Iowa's always been one of the better teams in a tournament every single year. So I'm taking the Hawkeyes in this one.
Like, were you saying that whenever Northwestern State beat them on a buzzer beater?
And how long ago was that?
We weren't even 10.
Exactly. I still remember that game though. I was freaking out on that. But yeah, I'm taking Iowa in there. I think, South Dakota State, I just think they're actually going to get locked up a little bit playing Big Ten, defense. I don't see that going very well for them. So I'm going to take Iowa in that. Next, I have Iowa State versus Wisconsin, which would be a freaking battle in football. But I'm taking the Badgers easily in basketball.
Yeah, I got Iowa State, Wisconsin as well. Give me the Badgers. It's played in Milwaukee. They'll have a huge crowd advantage. And yeah, I'm taking the Badgers.
All right, let's see here. Who do you got in this matchup?
Give me Kansas. I think after a week
hold on. Let's go back. Who do you have? Do you have Miami, Auburn?
Miami, Auburn. My bad. I'm taking Auburn to beat Miami.
Yeah, for sure. I think for Auburn there, I think Jabari Smith definitely going to be the biggest difference maker in that. Miami beat USC. USC is not Auburn. Taking Auburn there. So, all right. Well, it seems like you kind of answered your other one. So
yeah. So I had Kansas State. I got Kansas, South Dakota State. My bad. In the Sweet 16 matchup, give me Kansas. I think they'll be too talented to too much for South Dakota.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Kansas going up against Iowa, I think is definitely going to be a very good game. I think it might be one of the games of the tournament. But if I had to guess, Give me Iowa. Give me Iowa. I'm taking the Hawkeyes over Kansas.
All righty.
I feel like Kansas, they're always a great team. They have great talent, right? But
they always choke it.
They do. And that's the thing is I just don't see them with, you have, what's his name? Abaji or something like that. Abaji there, who's definitely, leads a team in scoring, 3-point percentage, all that. But as a team, I'm going to take Iowa. I feel like they're a little bit more of a cohesive unit in that area.
Yep.
So next I have Wisconsin and the Auburn Tigers.
I have the same thing.
Sorry, Big Cat. I'm going Auburn and Jabari Smith.
Well, the disrespect you show to Wisconsin when they're playing in Chicago against Auburn. Give me the Badgers.
Well, hey man, like I said earlier, I think once you get into like the Elite Eight, I don't think where you play matters. I think this is where the men definitely separate from the boys at this point. And I think Auburn, Bruce Pearl, being that coach, I think that definitely leads the way there. But all right, let's see, JD, who do you have for your Elite Eight?
I have Kansas versus Wisconsin. Okay. Give me Johnny Davis and the Badgers, baby.
Okay. He's going with Wisconsin. All right. Holy crap. All right. Man, you got Wisconsin going a long way. You really must want Big Cat to follow you or something. But All right. Guys, we've made it. We are going to make it to the Final Four. But before that, I have the Iowa Hawkeyes going up against the Auburn Tigers. And I can't believe this has happened, but it just means more. I'm going to have 3 SEC teams in the Final Four. Give me Auburn up against Tennessee.
I'm just kidding.
So I have Gonzaga, Kentucky, Tennessee, Auburn in my Final Four.
And I have Gonzaga, Purdue, Villanova, Wisconsin in mine.
All right, JD, here we go. This is it. This is where we find out. Really, is Gonzaga going to get over this hump? Are they going to win a freaking national championship? Or are they going to lose a 3rd national championship in what is it, 4 years, 5 years, something like that? Let's start with the West and East champion there. Who do you have?
I have Gonzaga and Purdue going at it in the first matchup. I think Purdue's got the size to match up with Chet Holmgren and Drew Timme, and they could shoot the ball just as well. Give me the Boilermakers.
Okay. All right. So I have Gonzaga versus Kentucky. And this is where a lot of my explanation of that combo Chet Holmgren and Drew Timme are going to come from, right? But the fact that I'm really big on turnovers, which everyone should be if they're actually looking into this, right? Instead of just having a good time, which this is like the best time of the year for me, right? But for me to pick you to go this far, you're going to have to be able to force turnovers. You're also going to have to control the boards, which I know for a fact they can do with Holmgren and Timme for sure. I'm going to take Gonzaga, but I would not be shocked if this is like another Jalen Suggs moment where it's a final second game where Gonzaga hits a shot or Kentucky misses a last second shot. It's going to be a very close game. I'm taking Gonzaga. All right.
Alrighty.
So we got the South champion Tennessee Volunteers up against the Midwest champion, the Auburn Tigers. This one's tough for me. I think Bruce Pearl going up against his former team, right, at Tennessee. That's going to be an interesting matchup as well. Great storyline that ESPN and everyone will run with for sure. But Vescovi and Chandler for Tennessee, that those guards, they really have to rely on that 3-point shot. But with Auburn looking, with the future NBA lottery pick, Jabari Smith, right, could be top 5, whatever. That dude is a freaking stud. And I think the fact that they couldn't get past the SEC championship, they couldn't get through that tournament, kind of worries me a little bit. Maybe Bruce Pearl kicks him in the ass and gets him into another gear. But they're able to force turnovers, but they are kind of lacking experience compared to Tennessee. But the fact that I think Tennessee has to rely on the 3-point game this long, pretty much a whole month, if you think about it, I'm gonna take Auburn facing Gonzaga in the national championship.
Alrighty. So you got Auburn, Gonzaga. I got Purdue, Villanova.
God, why do I do this every freaking year? Why do I always have Gonzaga in the championship? They always let me down. Except last year, holy crap, was I pissed watching that Baylor game, watching them just spank Gonzaga the way they did.
Mm-hmm.
But it's gonna work one day. Give me the Bulldogs. Freaking.
Well, I didn't tell you why I picked
2.0 is gonna get him past the hump. If he can't get them past the hump, a 7-foot, whatever guy that can play center, power forward, but also shooting guard, freaking small forward, but also has the handles of an actual guard. If he can't get them past the hump, I don't know what's going to get Mark Few his first championship. So I'm putting all my dice in on Chet Holmgren, the freaking freshman, being there with Drew Timme. Like, I don't see how else they won't win a championship if they don't do this year.
Yeah. All right, so I forgot to say I had Villanova beating uh beating Wisconsin in the Final Four to face Purdue. I think Villanova's the way they take care of the ball, and I just think they'll outlast Wisconsin. But for my national championship pick, Villanova they're too careful of what they do.
Ooh, wow, you're taking Jay Wright again?
So I'm taking Jay Wright to win the national championship over Purdue.
Wow. Okay. You have Purdue versus Villanova. See, that's the pick you got to do if you're going to win brackets, to be honest. You can't do the crap that I just did and pick freaking Gonzaga to beat Auburn again. But, man, dude, it's freaking here. March of Madness is here. All right, guys.
Go.
Just a reminder, do not forget to join our tournament challenge. I'm going to post it again. We did say it was going to be a $50 Fanatics gift card, but we're gonna bump it up to $100 because
yes, sir.
What is it, JD? What time is it right now?
It's March Madness.
March, baby. So $100 Fanatic gift card on the line. So go ahead, get your picks in. Playing games start on the 15th, right? Yeah, they start the 15th and 16th, and then the first round starts on the 17th. Get those picks in, and dude, I'm super excited. I can't wait. Can't wait to see some third grader, have a perfect bracket going into the Sweet 16 because he likes the colors and all those freaking storylines that come.
Honestly, it'll probably be my wife.
Yeah,
because
right.
Which mascot
sounds
fantasy
cutest, right?
football. She does great March Madness brackets. I don't understand it.
It's because they don't overthink it like us because we're idiots.
I know.
Right? That's what I tell everybody. Everyone at my work, I'm like, hey, you want to play? They're like, oh, I don't know much about basketball. And I'm like, trust me, the people who do the best have no idea what they're doing. Like, to be honest. So last year, I think Jessica had like 60% right on her bracket, and she literally just picked what mascot she thought.
Chrissy finished 95 percentile last year, picking colors and mascots.
Yeah,
so
like 60% correct, just off mascots. You can't go wrong. But anyway, guys, March is here. Me and Jay will have a podcast. I would say probably coming up around Sweet 16, something like that. We'll just have fun watching it.
We'll do the second chance bracket when it comes around.
Yep, we'll do that. But then it's our birthday weekend, so we always have a good time watching.
Yes, sir.
I'm taking Thursday off of work just to watch that first day of basketball. This is the best time of the year. You guys have no idea how much we love this, how much we love doing this as well.
Oh yes,
dude. I know I said it the first time we started this back up, but dude, I've missed this so much. But anyway, guys, thanks for listening. Join our tournament challenge. It's gonna be on our Twitter. It's gonna be on our TikTok. It's gonna be on everything. All right, guys. So other than that, we are good to go. I'm Dylan Marsh. That's JD Marsh. It's March, y'all. Holy crap, it's here.
Let's go.